God's been good to you, and you ought to let out a hallelujah. Thank you for what you've done for me. Thank you for the many ways you've made for me. I've been persecuted, I've been misunderstood, I've been maligned, I've been talked about, I've been criticized, I've been pushed aside, but thank you that in your name, I'm still gonna give you glory. As I hurry to the close this morning, I need somebody here who can still give God glory in spite of all that you've been through. There are some people in this church this morning, I know your story. You've been through some hard days. You've suffered through some difficult situations, some circumstances that would have taken the average person out, but you're still standing. You're still giving God glory. You're still praising God in spite of. They moved from punishment, they moved to praise, and the very thing they got punished for is the very thing they did in verse 42. They punished them in verse number 40. They praised in verse 41. And the very thing they punished them for in verse number 40 is the thing that they're doing in verse 42. They move from punishment and praise back to proclamation. They start talking about Jesus and what he's done for them and how many doors he's opened for them. And they talk about Jesus again. They're in the temple talking about Jesus. They're in their homes talking about Jesus. Everywhere they go, they are talking about Jesus. Every time they get an opportunity, they're talking about Jesus. When people want to hear it, they're talking about Jesus. When people don't want to hear it, they're talking about Jesus. They answer their phone talking about Jesus. They send an email talking about Jesus. They're sitting down to coffee at Starbucks talking about Jesus. They're in the line at HEB talking about Jesus. They're in the line getting their driver's license talking about Jesus. They're sitting down on the front porch talking about Jesus. They're cooking their supper talking about Jesus. They're washing dishes talking about Jesus. They're putting clothes in the washing machine talking about Jesus. They're folding clothes when they come out the dryer talking about Jesus. They're in the line at the gas station talking about Jesus. It's Monday and they're talking about Jesus. It's Friday and they're talking about